Yo, Incog, you want to come out here?
All right, man. I'm gonna do this quickly. First and foremost, hi, welcome back to ICP. Last time I was in ICP, it was a GMAX season, I believe, and I think that was when we had GMAX Melmetal, if I remember correctly. I think that went over good. You know what I'm saying? I'm in it again. We have Terra Captains. We have a bunch of Pokemon to get through. Not too many. We have some Pokemon to get through. I want to make sure I get this out and recorded, but I don't want to like go over it so in depth that you're wondering, oh my god, he's gonna do this and that. And listen, and I'm gonna just keep it brief here. My Draft League content is not content that is generally like crazy watch. I will do my best to improve, like editing, just like with my FFAs. We'll try to improve the editing on Draft League videos as well. With that being said, however, this probably won't be that heavily edited as it goes up on Sunday the 14th, and I'm pretty sure I'm recording this a few days before, so I won't have time because I work a lot. So there is that. But let's talk about it. First and foremost, I won't say I was trolling, but I will say that I am definitely I was definitely just seeing what I could get early first and then going from there. And it really did work out for my team. We made like one or two transactions, which made a lot of sense in theory, and they still do right now. I think we only made really one. I don't remember, but final team will be here. If we change up anything, you'll likely know before I do. I'm kidding, obviously. You'll know as soon as I do. If you like Draft League content, obviously, subscribe. This will have a playlist by itself that you can check out, which once more videos are uploaded to it, it'll be in the description. And number 2 on that docket, all the coaches are down below. Go subscribe to them, please. It's good. It's like a lot of this content is really good. I will say this: a lot of the content I like to watch is good, and a lot of these coaches are representative of that. Now, moving on from trying to be specific and not entirely cook anybody for any amount of reasons, let's talk about my team. We got Suicune, Terra Registeel, Snorlax, Ogerpon Hearthflame, Landorus Incarnate, Annihilate, Overcool Fortress, Noivern, and Terra Wo-Chien, or Wo-Chan, whatever it's called. I actually don't know. The only reason I'm not backing out so you can see the entirety of it is because my week 1 team is built as of right now and basically is done, and people have to fight will watch this video, or somebody let them, whatever. Listen, I'm gonna go through this. You understand what these Pokemon probably do at this point. I'm just gonna go over some bullet points here. I drafted Suicune first. I was 7th in this draft out of 12 people. Yeah, I think I was 7th, which I think is pretty cool. So I knew I wasn't gonna get anything too crazy, but I decided just to build my team from like kind of middle, bottom to top. And you might be like, oh, but Suicune was probably a lot of points. It was. Out of 19 points, I believe. I think Suicune was like 15 or 14 or something like that. Took it. I always need a good water and a bulky one at that, and Suicune is both of those, obviously. If you've been around on my channel, you know Suicune's one of my favorite Pokemon to draft for a myriad of reasons. A lot of reasons that involve doing a lot of dumb shit with it. But we'll get into that as we move forward. Great water type. I think it got back Scald as well. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be fishing for burns. We're going to be doing some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know what this Pokemon does. It's a bulky water that can also be a great offensive water. We probably won't see as many Crocoon sets just because this generation is more offensively driven rather than trying to win the defensive game here. Number 2. Yeah, that's right. I drafted Terra Registeel. Registeel is like 7 points, which in my opinion is far too low for a Pokemon of its stature. Could have been like 9 or 10 points in all honesty, but we'll talk about that at a later date. And it's no one's fault for it being tiered low, obviously. It's just like one of those things that I saw and I was like, that's tiered pretty low. I'll take it. Why not? And in my opinion, somebody would definitely be looking for this at like round 4, round 5, more than likely. So I want to take it at round 2 because the rest of my team is pretty much easier to build if I can, you know, just surround the points and do what I have to do. Water Fairy Steel, we needed 1 stab, 2 non-stabs. We could have done Stellar, but Stellar only increases the power of the first move that you use, and then everything else is kind of just like normal power, and I'm not trying to spam the same move, nor do I feel like it would be helpful here. You still maintain your weaknesses to like fire, fighting, and ground, and that's kind of alright, whatever. Now, the thing about this is that this is after I had drafted the entire team. Water gives you another bulky water and also gives me the ability to hit pretty much generally what I want to hit as weaknesses. So ground and fire types. Fighting types get hit by the fairy, and then steel is just because, well, I need the stab, obviously. So, I mean, having a stronger heavy slam or an iron head is always going to be preferable to me. Like I said, Water Fairy, great for hitting the things that are super effective against us, as well as resisting a lot of different hits, in my opinion. I mean, you probably understand, you know, resisting fire is really clutch. So that's the reason for these 2 tears, realistically. I think that Registeel will definitely be a very interesting Terra pick, because I think I'll be using it more often than not, in my own opinion, so we'll see. But I think that's still great defensive Pokemon. And, you know, Registeel and Suicune, pretty good defensive mons. We got Snorlax next. Once again, if you know my channel, you know how much I love Snorlax, of course. And Snorlax is a defensive piece, is pretty cool. But we'll probably be using it more offensively more than anything else. Because this generation is more offensively driven, Snorlax is going to be slotted more so in like a weird position of trying to free up space for me to at least cleanly sweep with other mons. Things like Whirlwind, things like Yawn, stuff like that, so that I'm forcing them out one way or another. And also just in general, I mean, Snorlax is a great Pokemon in general to have, a great ghost immunity, of course, but also like really good at sponging special attacks. And I mean, I definitely want not as tanky, but I want bulky Pokemon, you know what I mean? I want Pokemon that at least mean something to somebody, and they mean a lot to me. And I know Snorlax is probably not going to get drafted, so I was like, this is not going to snipe anybody, so easy Pokemon. Ogerpon gives me a grass fire type and gives me pretty much anything I wanted, which is a physical fire type that hits really fucking hard. I was kind of not considering this Pokemon at first because obviously I don't get to Terra it, but the other thing is, like, if I don't get to Terra it and no one else does, then I'm pretty much stuck with running 4 attacks or 3 attacks in SD, right? That's still really fucking scary in my opinion. So Ogerpon's here, she's great. Definitely feel like it'll be a great breaker for my team, and I think it's the fastest Pokemon on my team, which you might be like, oh, that's pretty terrible, 110. I think we have Noivern, right? I think Noivern's actually faster, but I mean, Noivern's 123, there's 110, so it's a pretty, I wouldn't say steep, but definitely wanted a 115 somewhere in there, but you can't always get what you want. But Ogerpon's still really good, and even then, I don't have to run speed if someone's running like Sticky Webs or something, so I can definitely take advantage of people's ability to try and run a lot of hazards, because then I switch an Ogerpon, and now you're kind of in a position where if I start setting up, you could start dying. And believe me, Ogerpon's one of those mons that once it gets off that SD, it's really good, and even if it doesn't, it still hits at least generally hard depending on the mon. Landorus was Landorus Therian at first. We made it Landorus Incarnate because I wanted a special attacker. I didn't really feel like I needed Double Intimidate, nor did I feel like I needed Landorus Therian. But Landorus Incarnate, obviously with Sheer Force back, and being allowed in most draft leagues, Landorus Incarnate's really fun. Obviously, it's going to be definitely underwhelming in some regards, but I feel like we'll see a lot of Sandsear Storms, and just in general, just a Pokemon that'll be able to do a lot of damage overall. In my own opinion, though, I feel like we could have stayed with Landorus Therian, but again, I didn't want another physical Pokemon, obviously, so I gave myself something that is more of a mixed option. And indeed, it is mixed. So we'll see how well that goes. I definitely like this Pokemon, has a lot of great coverage, and definitely can be a setup sweeper. Obviously, I think it lost Rock Polish, so we're kind of fucked in that regard. I went too far down, but we did lose that. Otherwise, pretty much an easy, safe bet for a good, like, you know, if a team is not above base 100 and definitely doesn't resist all of Landorus's hits, if I'm able to get off a Calm Mind or better yet a Nasty Plot, a lot of teams are not going to want to fight Landorus. And I'm not going to lie to you, that feels amazing to say out loud. But yeah, that's Landorus. We got Annihilate next. Pretty much, if you've watched any amount of Draft League at this point, you know what Annihilate does. It's a bulky ghost fighting type, has Rage Fist, has Defiant, it does the whole entire shebang, and it's a good mon. More explicitly, I wanted something else that had hazards, because I'm pretty sure it gets stealth rocks. Yeah, it does. Awesome. I remember that. I want something that was not crazy bulky, but definitely still gave me a bulky option in terms of a fighting and a ghost type. As well as just the ability to have another really good check to people's intimidators. Because when you look at my team from a standstill, right? Well, yes, we have Clear Body, and we're probably never going to use Light Metal. We have Snorlax, we have Ogerpon, and we have Landorus. You know, trying to prevent someone from bringing Constant Intimidate, and then even taking advantage of Sticky Web. Annihilate does those things, and to me that makes it even more worth it in my opinion. So definitely say that I definitely like Annihilate here for, you know, just general stat dropping and, you know, hazards and Intimidate. I definitely think that it'll be an interesting mon, no doubt. It's going to be a very interesting one depending on how I want to use it, because while it fits in my team for like typings and stuff, how I go about using it each week is going to be hard, because the metagame obviously gets, not just the metagame, but the Pokemon that are released are definitely get, you know, the power level creeps up, obviously. And Annihilate, while it is really good with Terra generally. So without Terra, you're kind of looking at a pretty good mon. It's definitely going to carry some games, and some games it may not. We'll see how it goes. Overkill, Intimidate. If we can do manual rain, I guess, or if somebody has rain drafted, then I guess that could be cool. But usually our Intimidator, really good bulky Pokemon. I needed T-Spikes on this team. I feel like a lot of teams are not going to have Defog or Rapid Spin, and if they do, they have to do one Defog on Annihilate or Rapid Spin on it, and that creates a fucking dangerous Pokemon. So we have obviously the ability to put up hazards, and we have the ability to basically nullify people from taking them away. And Overkill has Spikes, T-Spikes. Really good at strong Pokemon in my opinion. Great Dark, great Poison type. But I think the best thing about Overkill is that it can be bulky and still do a good, fair, like, bit of damage all the time. And I think that being said, it'll definitely be slotted more in some bulkier positions where we want to intimidate certain mons, especially newer mons that have come out that are more physically based, like Iron Boulder and stuff like that. And being able to threaten things like Iron Crown and then other mons just in general is really nice. And I mean, we get a lot of nice coverage too. So Overkill definitely serves its purpose as a multifaceted Pokemon. Defensive, offensive, hazard setter, and definitely a Pokemon that most teams have to fear. I said most teams will not have hazard removal. These next two picks are my hazard removal. Rapid Spin, Fortress, obviously gets Spice, gets Rocks, really good for pivoting, and obviously a really fun Pokemon if you want to like Loaded Dice, Pin Missile, and Rock Blast. I don't know if we're ever going to get the opportunity to do that, mostly because I feel like Fortress, while it won't be slotted to just put up hazards or just to spin, it feels like I definitely have to invest so much into attack to the point where it's not worth it. So we really do have this here for teams that I feel like would be hazard stacking us a lot of the time, or where we would really not want a team to put up webs and it would be very detrimental to us. Like, I feel like if a team is that much faster than us where they're putting up webs as well, it's not worth it to me. But if a team's near our speed tiers and is putting it up, obviously we have Fortress and we have Noivern for defog, but I definitely want to make sure that I can get those away, and Fortress definitely helps with that. In addition, I mean, it's a really good, just a good check to a lot of random shit. I mean, talking offensive fairies, we're talking dragons, we're talking just in general Pokemon, and it resists a lot of different things. Obviously only really has one weakness. I would have made this a Terra, but I decided against it. Now, if my memory serves me correct, it's not above 10 points, so it could have been a Terra. However, I think I didn't because I felt like I wouldn't bring Fortress that much, or even if I brought Fortress, it wouldn't be slotted to be my Terra Pokemon of choice. if that makes sense, right? You want to make your Terra Captains mons that you obviously are going to bring. Pretty simple stuff. And Fortress, while I will bring it, I don't think I'd slot it as, oh, I'm going to terrestrialize this Pokemon this game. It's not something like that, which now you might be like, have Terrawolshian. Hold on, let me cook. Let me get to Noivern. Defog, special attacker, and hits kind of hard depending on the day and time, honestly. Just depends on what Noivern's up to, you know. If it wants to hit Hurricane, wants to hit Draco Meteor, you know, just Noivern things. Obviously, Defog is there, and we want to use it, but of course there will be moments where we won't be able to, but I just wanted to have the option rather than not having it at all. Defog's easier to get off than Rapid Spin, obviously, so I definitely want to make sure that I can do that. In addition, Frisk is a great ability to see items just in general from like things that we potentially could see as Scarf or Choice Band that could go like really hard into our team, so Noivern definitely helps us with that. In addition, really good special attacker. Super Fang's great on this Pokemon, so we can at least wear down teams and go in with Annihilate and Ogerpon and Landorus. But generally speaking, it'll be a really designated captain of I will either do a lot of damage or you will have to deal with my annoying ass. Lastly, we have Wolcian, which is just Terra, Electric, Ice, and Grass. In my own opinion, I think we're going to take away Ice and make it something else, but I haven't decided yet. After week 1, maybe after like week 2 or 3, we'll see if I want to change it. I know week 1, I don't know what I'm doing with this Pokemon actually, if even I'm bringing it. But what I do know is that I wanted something else that was tanky, and this is a Spadef wall and also can reduce attack by 25% with its ability Tablet to Ruin, I'm pretty sure. And as a Terra Captain, this Pokemon still hits incredibly hard. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Avery, you just mentioned its defensive capabilities, right? You mentioned its offensive capabilities. Listen. When you start looking at calcs for offensive Wolcian, you start really thinking about, is that possible? And let me tell you something. While it is not threatening, it is definitely a Pokemon that you still have to look out for. And like, it's a really good it's really good for stopping people from sweeping you with like water types. It's really good Pokemon for just stopping grass types like Superior from just leech seeding spam all over you and stuff like that. It's just stopping general grass types. I think the only thing I would probably change if I wanted something different, I would definitely go with something else, like just a general, maybe not like another dark type, maybe something else I don't have on this team. I think the only typing I'm really missing is like electric or something. And I definitely would have liked an electric type on this team, but again, it wasn't absolutely necessary to fill out the entire type chart and get every single typing of Pokemon. Wolcian definitely be an interesting case. Obviously, I said this would be quick, and it's been about 18 to 19 minutes now. But some of you out there will watch this video and be like, wow, I'm actually interested in what he has to say about these mods. Week 1, we fight Sosa and his LA Infernapes. And I'm back at it with Draft League content. Obviously, just for the 411, if you make it this far, hey man, leave a comment and just say donut in the comments so I know you got this far. But number 2, I am getting married in April. So if this league goes that far, goes that long, I will likely have to play those battles early, but I cannot guarantee if I'm going to be able to get them up, only because I'll get married and then I'm going to go on my honeymoon immediately afterwards for a week. So don't expect content at that point. But I mean, I feel like that's obvious. But I'm just letting you guys know that in advance. I don't know. This league's like 8 weeks, so that's 2 months technically. And then you have to worry about semi or octo or whatever they call it now. I think it's just top 4. Top 8. It's top 8, so that'd be quarters. So octo's like 16. Yeah, I think octo's like 16 or something, because it's, or 8. I don't remember what these things fucking mean. Someone I think Addison coined the term, and I still don't know what it is. But it's top 8, then it goes, then it goes last 4, then final 2, whatever. We'll see if we can make playoffs, obviously, and we'll try our hearts out regardless of what's going on in my life. If there's far too much going on in my life, then maybe I will have someone else play in my steed, but hopefully I don't have to do that. We'll just, cross our heart. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this, leave a like, comment, subscribe. It's been about 20 minutes of your time, And all I ask you to do is leave a like, comment, and perhaps subscribe today if you're new. These videos will be produced at a higher quality than normal just because I want to make sure that I hit 1.5K subscribers at the end of the year. So by improving my content or improving the quality of my content, that will be the hopeful. But thank you guys for watching. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.